Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge the Lines Forever. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 on the northwestern section of the map, ending with Team 2 on the southeastern section of the map. Starting off with Team 1 southwesternmost player in orange, the color orange, it is Raw Legit going first line as an Aeon. He is a 1600 into his northeast in Stitch Blue. It is Cups going first line as a Cybern in, or as a 1500 to his north in not glow in the dark green. It is Pac-Man Yellow. It is a Zeros going first land as an Aeon. He is a 2100 to his northwest in Tropical Ocean Blue. It is Hayden going first land as a Seraphim. He is a 1300, and to his east in Imperial Gray, we have the Aeon player of I Make War on You going first land. He is a 1700. And last but not least for Team 1, rounding out the eastern side of the map, it is another Aeon for Team 1, Steve McQueen going first land. He is a 2300, a highest ranked player on Team 1 and in the game overall. So Team 1 side of the map, there are 4 Aeon, 1 Seraphim, 1 Cybern. Team 1 lacks UEF technology. Starting off with Team 2's northeasternmost player in Snow White, blending in with the very icy background, or I should say environment. It is Terminal going first line as a Seraphim as a 1900. To his southwest in Ruby Red, we have Hershey going first land. He is a 1500 as a Seraphim as well. To his way southeast, we have Signal Runner going first there as a Cybern in the Brigadier slot. He is a 1400 in Forest Green. To his northwest, another Cybern here for Team 2. It is Shady Sox going first land. He is a 1900, tied for Terminal in that rating. And again, he's going first land as a Cybern in Rust. And to his south in Batman Gray, it is C2118 Freedom going first land, second there as an Aeon. He is a 1900 as well, with Shady and Terminal joining him in that same rating. And last but not least here, to the west, the highest rated player on Team 2, it is Telemazer going first land as a Seraphim, which means he cannot Telemazer his opponents. He is a 2000 rated, and he is in Light Oak Tan. So for Team 2's side of the map, they have 3 Seraphim. Let's see, 1, 2, yeah, names can change. Yeah, 3 Seraphim, 2 Cyberns, and 1 Aeon, which means for both of the teams, they lack UEF tech. Apologies to those loyal to the Empire. Unfortunately, you're not represented in this game, but hopefully you will enjoy it nonetheless. And for 12 players on this map, let's take a look at the reclaim here before they scoop it all up. There are 19,000 mass for players to grab, which means it's pretty close to 1,500 mass per player. A little bit under that, but not terribly so. And in terms of mass point layouts for, let's say, Team 2 side of the map, and for Team 1 as well, most of the mass points are on their main land masses, with the north and southern player getting a huge advantage with a ton of mexes to their immediate left or right. And in the middle, there's not really a lot of mexes. There's a couple of plateau mexes, one on each of them, and a couple of mexes on the southern and northern shores. But besides that, there's really not a lot of mass that's going to be fought over. The thing we will have to watch out for, however, is invaders from the other side of the map. So Team 2's Telemazer could get either invaded or be invading Raw Legit on that western side. And we could see the same thing over in the east between Terminal and Team 1's Steve McQueen. It looks like Terminal going to actually do that exact thing and invade this landmass to the north. Let's go ahead and speed this game back up to 0. And also will point out that this game was sent to me by a viewer, so thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. And of course, if you have a replay that you want me to see and want to review to see if it does go on the channel, please send me the review at strategiclaunchreplays@gmail.com. The email address is in the description, so you can easily copy and paste. You don't have to write it all down, so it's a lot easier. But anyway, going higher in the north, we have Team 1's Azuros going for a decent amount of naval facilities, as well as going for the middle of the map to grab those mexes that do exist there. Again, like I said, there are some mexes, not a lot, but again, something is better than nothing. Cubs also getting into the naval game in the south. So we have 2 players on Team 1 going for Navy, maybe even a third outbound from Raw Legit. Team 2, we don't see any efforts as of yet besides Terminal on the northern side. So it looks like it's going to be lopsided here for Team 1's advantage in the south against Team 2's Telemazer and C2118 Freedom. But we do see Shady Sox moving into that middle section of the map, going to try to establish a nice little beachhead for himself as well. There's going to be a decent amount of fighting, I think, in the middle of the map, but I think a lot of it will occur on the northern half and the northern side, mainly the shoreline, and the southern shorelines as well. In the north, we see Terminal has reached his destination, going after a nice little plateau, nice little cliffside. Be able to get a nice tactical advantage in that regard, overlook his opponent of Steve McQueen, and be able to get some PD online. He probably will go for T2. But look at the engineers outbound from Team 1's Steve McQueen, really just grabbing any and every mechs that they can. Almost claimed all of them. And a decent amount of Team 1 flares are online, just run around the map, trying to deny any sort of Zooey incursion from Terminal, trying to isolate that comm on that side of the map. Don't think he knows he's there. He doesn't know he's there, but maybe he has seen him at some point. The facilities for Navy are almost online here for Terminal, but there is one online for Hershey in that position. We do see JD Sox going for an upgrade, probably gun, I would assume, just due to the fact he is on that middle island. And Team 2 has also gone to the Navy. It is from the Rig Gutter sub-play of Signal Runner, very surprisingly. Didn't really expect him to go for Navy. Kind of expected Telemazer or Freedom to go for Navy, but you know, maybe he's focused on other endeavors at the current moment. There are some interceptors and bombers running around here for both teams in that southwestern section. Not really a huge threat outbound from Team 1 to invade Team 2's landmass. But Telemazer has a little bit of an easier time, but it looks like we see some comm-on-comm action here at 5.5 minutes between Steve McQueen and Terminal. One is an Aeon, 11,000 hit points. One is a Seraphim at 11.5 thousand hit points. A little bit of advantage in the hit point regard, but again, can be very easily walked down. A murder-suicide it can occur here. And it does look like Terminal receiving a decent amount more firepower from Steve McQueen's bombers, so that will force him into the water for the time being, allowing Team 1 to shore up defenses on that beachhead. Team 1 frigates online with a sub coming in to assist from Cubs, going after the naval facilities here for Signal Runner. So again, Team 2 trying to get locked out of Navy by Team 1, but Shady Sox does have gun on board, going after Cubs' comm. Looks like he's just going to walk him down. That is probably his strategy. And Cubs, seeing the threat, goes, nah, I'm out, see ya, bye, and goes southwestwardly. T1 PD coming online here for Azuros to secure the northern section of the middle. And he's doing a pretty good job so far. I could see this army either rotating all the way around and hook maneuvering against the Zeros, or just going straight into Cups' main base. You could see either or, but more than likely it's probably going to be just going straight forward. We're probably going to, again, also see some bombers outbound from at least a couple players on Team 1 to deal with this land incursion. We do see a transport laden with some engineers coming out from Cups to assist the T2 naval facility upgrade that is occurring. So Cubs going for T2 Navy very, very early, trying to get those destroyers, the Salem, with their little legs that appear out of, quote, nowhere. And going to be able to use those naval units as air, quote, unquote, land units, if he so chooses to do so. In the north, we do see Steve McQueen securing the beachhead once again, and Nuke coming in to join him. So they're really, really heavily focusing on this beachhead, ensuring that Team 2 does not get any sort of foothold. A couple of frigates have some words of disencouragement. Some strongly worded letters are being thrown back and forth between the frigates in the northern waters. And Terminal looking like he's just wrapping up his hit points for the time being. T1 frigate stoping produced by Terminal. He could go for T2. That might be his play, especially being Seraphim with the laser weapons would be very effective at taking out the just the shoreline at a minimum, so he doesn't miss a lot of his targets. But Team 2's Navy being forced back to Shady Sox's main base. There are some facilities online that are providing some nice cushion here, but it's not really doing a whole lot, unfortunately. Team 1's fleet is a little bit bigger than Team 2, trying to essentially outproduce Team 1, but that's not going to happen with 2 T2 naval facilities online for both Ra Legit and Cups in the water. Shady Sox trying to go after, I think, the T2. Is he even in range of that? No, he's not. He's barely in range of the T1. So he will maybe shift over a little bit, go after that T2 naval headquarters. And Cups makes his way back onto land, trying to, again, cut off any reinforcements outbound from Sox to push him back in that side of the map. So Team 1, 2 players on the Navy side of things, very, very powerful. And, you know, it's not necessarily dangerous, but it is risky because Team 2 could just shore up defenses, kind of hang out eco on their side of the map, and then outproduce Team 1. So, again, it's all about, is it worth it to go for it? Is it not worth it to go for it? So we'll just see how that goes on. But Shady Sox is not going to, fall back. He's going to continue pressuring Cups, going after that Tickle Cannon. And the Tickle Cannons on Team 1, the Cerberus, or at least the Siren faction, is very good at taking out T1s, but again, they have to be in large numbers to really do much of anything else. The Destroyer is being denied here by Sox's commander, so not going for the torpedo upgrade, going for the gun upgrade on land. But again, the Cybern comms are very, and the faction in general is very versatile. So essentially they're the definition of jack of all trades. So they can, of course, deploy both on land and sea and air. And, of course, the Destroyer has been denied. T2 facility trying to be just repped up so it survives. Ra Legit coming in with his gun speed and range commander will force Shady Sox into said water, and that Destroyer will continue its construction. And it does look like he might do a reclaim order, but there are some torpedo-capable ships on board. There is one little Sylph nearby here for Ra Legit, so it's going to force Shady Sox back for the time being. And T2 Destroyers looks like they're the main production unit here. Both of these players trying to, again, secure the Southern Navy for their team. Team 2's Navy also being forced back to their main production facilities. T2 Navy online for terminal. He needs to get those Destroyers online sooner rather than later, especially with this huge group of Blazes coming online for Team 1, Steve McQueen. And, of course, the hover tech being very naughty and floating on the water. Again, the Blazes don't do a lot of damage, but again, 1,000 of anything will kill anything. So Team 2 has to be very aware of that. And now we see Terminal getting out of the water to assist. Probably wishing he had that gun upgrade. And Team 1 might just be locking Team 2 out of the Navy, especially with the Destroyer online from Azuros. Again, focusing down all of the frigates and then going to go after all of the facilities next. T2 Destroyer trying to be built as fast as it can. Engineers are being focused down, as well as the actual facility itself. I don't know if this will live long enough. Bomber outbound kills off 3 more engineers for Team 2. Kills off the other ones. Another one comes overhead, so Team 2 most definitely will be locked out of the Northern Navy. They still have another facility over here, but the one for terminal will be denied. Is that going to be able to produce some destroyers? Well, they're hoping for that, but I don't think it's going to be the case. Team 2's Navy in the south still doesn't have, actually, excuse me, it does. Its facilities over here in the corner, which cannot be used, at least effectively. Oh, well, okay, to be fair, destroyers could be built, the Salems, and then walk across and then, retract their land legs. But it does take a lot of time for those units to move, so don't know how much work it's going to get done. But Team 2's terminal gets destroyed, actually, just by a control case. Seeing that his game is mostly over, decides to end it all and get some AoE explosions on board those units from Team 1, trying to do some damage. It is a 5v6 in favor of Team 1. And those Blazers getting into the main base here for Hershey. So Hershey going to suffer as well. And so 2 players essentially isolated from the game for the time being on Team 2's side of the map. Naval facility still online. Destroyer still has not been built. It is going to tick over into the green, but there are multiple destroyers now online for Azuro. So it's, again, like I said, it's not looking good here for Team 2 on the Northern Navy. And on the Southern Navy, it's a little bit better, but not by much. Destroyer online for Team 1's Cups, trying to force back these floaty Yenzine outbound from Telemazers. Telemazer trying to do, again, the same thing that his opponent of Steve McQueen has done. We do see Hershey moving in to assist as well on this side of the map, but he's being attacked from multiple sides. One from I Make War on You and 1 from the player of Steve McQueen. So again, not really going that well. Does the destroyer get constructed? Yes, it does. And it's immediately given orders to go after this facility over here, trying to get out of range of all these other frigates. But of course, there are destroyers on the shoreline here, a third one as well. So they will overpower the one from Team 2's Hershey very, very quickly. Ilshi's online, but does get blitzed down. And more units over here to the east. The gunship's coming online as well for the air player of Team 2's Signal Runner. He does not have T3 air technology, is at T2 currently. Team 1 is at T3 air technology, so definitely favoring Team 1 in the air game and on the Navy game, and not necessarily on the land game, but the pseudo-land naval game definitely favors Team 1. And we do see those Yenzines start to invade Team 1's fleets, trying to make landfall, which they will, but I don't know how much damage they are going to do. We'll just have to continue to watch them to see what does happen. Looks like the invasion on land has slowed down a little bit, but it has, again, slowed down due to the fact that a lot of the units outbound from Team 1 are grouping up. I would love to see everything maybe shifted over to I Make War on You so he can micro those units a lot better. And that way he can use the entirety of these units at one time instead of having to coordinate between Steve McQueen and himself. They're going to go back and forth on, over here, then over here, then over here, then over here, that kind of thing. T2 Naval Headquarters has been denied. And Signal Runner trying to assist in the Northern Navy, but is going to get denied, unfortunately. And so Team 2's naval presence has collapsed in the northern pond. But maybe the southern pond will have better results. Looks like they are banking a decent amount of work in pressuring Team 1. A lot of the Yenzin are focusing on the T2 naval headquarters here for both of these players, but destroyers are online. Multiple of them, in fact, from Team 1, so this is not really going well here for Team 2's efforts to deny Team 1 Navy, just like Team 1 did to them in the northern pond. There are, again, more groups of Yenzin coming online, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Restorer online for Team 2. So Team 2's player that I thought was going air did not go for air, and that is C2118 Freedom has gone for air, and he has Restorers online, not the best air-to-ground unit, but of course it's very effective on the air-to-air side of things. So Team 2 does have access to T3 air technology. So it is not one-sided in that regard. I was mistaken. Apologies for that. Just didn't see him. Blazes just ripping through Terminal's old base, and nothing is going to be inherited here by Hershey. Did get a little bit benefit of some of the mass income, but not by much. And he's going for a nano repair upgrade assisted by Sox. Sox has retreated from his frontline attacks and has shifted eastward to shore up defenses on this side of the map. Transport laden with Signal Runner's commander. Signal Runner has gun upgrade, trying to, again, assist as much as he can. I don't know if this was the smartest move. He is going to get overwhelmed very, very quickly here. And he does get pinged either by Team 1 or Team 2. I don't know who, but somebody pings him. And looks like Signal Runner will get some veterancy off these units, so it is going to be good. Uthashal is being established as well for defense. And Hershey has finished his nano and gun upgrades, which means now all of these units moving westward. Probably, I mean, they could have blitzed down Signal Runner, to be fair, but have decided not to. And we see Signal Runner's commander actually just going to build a wall section, because why not? But tons of mass has been denied here by Team 1. You can see that in the generation scores at Team 1 at 840, Team 2 just barely under 700. That is a decent amount to be behind here for Team 2, so they need to kick it in gear. But counter land invasions will occur here pretty shortly as the hordes of Yenzin are moving on to Team 1's naval shipyards. We do see those Yenzins coming into range. One destroyer is still online, but they are coming into range. AA over top secures the skies while the Yenzin push that T2 naval headquarters. The last remaining units here from Team 1 push into Team 2's production facilities over here. And I do love this outbound from Team 2, Shady Sox, assisting the construction of units outbound from Signal Runner. Usually they'd be assisting their own facilities, but I do love this teamwork here, sharing their mass and trying to produce units as quickly as possible to assist the naval invasion and land invasion that will soon occur. Team 1 trying to shore up defenses with some T1 and T2 PD, mainly just T2, but there are a couple of T1s in there. And Cups He might be focused down, but again, there's a lot of tickle cannons here, and more of them are going to be established, so I don't think this is enough to kill him right now. But that land army is moving. Hershey has been defeated by I Make War on You. They tried to defend and did a great job of it, but still Team 1 has a huge hold on the northern side of that, eastern side. That how you kill Blazes. I don't know what that's in reference to, but looks like Team 2 loses another player here at 17.5 minutes. It is a 6v4 in favor of Team 1, and everything will be transferred over to Sox, it looks like, because he's the technically he's the closest player to that, and would just make sense for him to do that. Stealth coming on the way here for Signal Runner in the east. And now again, Team 2 does not inherit the old base from Terminal. Inherits the old base from Sox, but not from Terminal, so they're still missing out on all of that mass. Team 2 is trying to close that gap. It's below 100 mass, being the discrepancy between, well, it keeps shifting depending on reclaim, energy, and all of that. Looks like it's probably a little bit of e-stalling there. But the invasion has now occurred here for Team 2's Telemazer against Team 1's Raw Legit. And again, it's going to be history repeating itself. We have some nice little Zooies as well accompanying the Yenzin here from Team 2. Going to be able to get in and take out all of these structures and start dropping Team 1's eco to trying to balance out the discrepancy here. Of course, Team 1 has benefited for a little bit with that extra income, but it looks like it's not going to be there for long. But invasion on the north has yielded some results for Team 1 with some T1 Mechs, which is, of course, a lot better than nothing. And Team 2 needs to shore up defenses here on this eastern side, or it is going to collapse. It is the weaker of the two sides. The middle's kind of just there. There's no advantage for one team, advantage for the other. It's essentially Team 1 has the north, Team 2 has the south, and that's it. And both teams have one plateau, and that's it. Restorer coming online here. Is it going to go after Cups' commander? It's going to continue in to the northwest, coming in to take out tons and tons of mexes here for Team 1. And they are T2s, so they're a lot weaker versus the T3 variants. They have a lot more hit points. That being 6,500 versus 1,900, so a decent amount more hit points here for those T3. Oh, and that's also per faction. Some of them are 75, 50, and all of that, but a considerable amount more for the T3 mexes versus the T2. Those restorers are very well equipped at dealing with that. ASF's come over the top here for Team 1's Hayden, and then going after the restorers, but Team 2 now has the skies secured. They have air control, not dominance, because it's a little early for that, and the amount of ASFs that Team 2 owns, not that many. But the invasion has occurred. Raw Legit on the front lines trying to hold them back. The destroyer being walked down, and now Raw Legit retreating. He is now the target of attacks here from Team 2's artillery pieces. And he's trying to hold his base together. He's not doing well. He has one mass income, so there's only so much that he can do. Freedom go air instead of signal, says Sadface. So looks like Team 1's headed in thinking he was going after Signal Runner, but the rules were switched. Might be the reason we lose, but we'll see. I don't know if there's necessarily an agreed upon this player will go air. Maybe there's an expectation, but not necessarily there's an agreement beforehand. I don't think. I mean, sometimes that could be a thing, but I don't really know. But that was a tactical move, having the one of the second highest rated players on Team 2 going for air instead of Signal Runner. He has T3 Navy online. Team 1 also has T3 Navy. In the west, there goes Team 1's Raw Legit due to Telemazer's incursion, and Cups is in the red as well, so Team 2 might just get a double kill here. The restorers, all they have to do is divert westward, and they'll be able to take out that comm. It looks like he's going to be completely rounded here. Cups does get a rank in veterancy, so he's going to get more hit points to survive some more shots here from Team 2. And Team 2 just not really caring about it, and very kind of a rock and a hard place here. Cups can't go too far south or hit the land invasion. Can't go north because they hit the land army over there. And Cups is kind of just stuck in the middle here, kind of running around the map. Those destroyers are coming onto land, proving nice artillery pieces here for Team 2. And of course, look at the invasion in the north. It's just like a poem, it rhymes. The eastern side has fallen, or at least is trying to hold for Team 2. Team 1 trying to do the exact same thing, but they have lost a lot more mass, at least in terms of mechs count. Team 1 and Team 2 producing the same amount of mass income at 1.1k at 21, 22, and oh, there goes Cups in the west. I was just about to say he's going to die at some point. And it is now a 4v4 game. Team 1 has lost 4 players. Team 2 also lost 4 players. Team 1 and Team 2 producing, well, we don't know the exact amounts, but roughly the same amount of mass at 1.1k. Map control is about 50-50. I think it's favoring a little bit of Team 2, but just barely. Maybe like 51% Team 2, 49% Team 1. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. And thank you so very much for watching to this point in the video. I really do appreciate it. Team 1 does have some missile launcher-capable ships from the Aeon. They are the Torrent class, going after all of the mixes here for Team 2. But there are a lot of TMD online, so it's going to take more than just one missile ship to crack those defenses. And the base in the middle here for Sox will be eviscerated by those Harbingers and some Blazes. No Obsidians? For shame. For shame, no Obsidians here from Team 1. I mean, I know that's a lot of Blazes, to be fair. But still, no Obsidians? For shame. Obsidians are the best tank at T2 tech with the T2.5 unit, as well as the Ilshis. But look at this. Just look at the invasion. I think at this point, I'm just going to split it, just so we can watch both things at the same time. Team 1 invading in the west, being assisted by Sox's bricks to the west. And Team 1's Steve McQueen just barreling into Team 2's doorstep. Steve McQueen going after Signal Runner in the east. He smells blood and he wants it. And this might be a kill if Team 1 continues the pressure issue. Team 2 doesn't really have anything to defend. This is just a full-on just hemorrhaging, just blood gushing from this wound. Everything is going down. In the western side of things, a little bit better prepared here for Team 1, but it's still a lot of Yenzin kind of just sitting here, and Aurora as well. There are some Othams as well. Lots of assistance from the Navy. 2 more Torrent-class missile ships are coming online, and it looks like the Restore is starting to force all of the land units to the east. Signal Runner is being surrounded. He will die off. Gets a rank in veterancy. Maybe we'll try to get onto a transport. Doesn't like he'll make it out of there. Getting body blocked, and there he goes. Team 2 loses another player here at 24 minutes. It is a 4v3 in favor of Team 1. Azuros being forced back a little bit, but is doing a really good job in holding that line. Team 2 has an avenue of attack on the western side, just isn't really using it. It needs to avoid this fleet outbound from Azuros, so needs to shift all of their units incoming to go to that western side. And the Restore is coming in to assist the base that once belonged to Signal Runner that is now belonging to Freedom, trying to take out anything and everything. But this base is going to go up in smoke. It is not going to feel good, but at least at a minimum he'll be able to secure it because it is deep in his territory. But there is a Colossus online here for Team 1's Steve McQueen, so that's really going to throw a monkey wrench into those plans. And in the west, a Monkey Lord being constructed here for Sox. So while the monkey wrench is being thrown, the monkey from Team 2 might actually catch it. We'll just have to see. It looks like the missile ships targeting the mobile artillery on board that Salem-class destroyer. One to eliminate the naval and land units. And again, those Restorers, again, not really well equipped for taking out ground units, but are doing a decent job in trying to hold the line. Freedom in the pond nearby doesn't have any gun on board or speed or shield or whatever, but is going for his own Colossus. Team 1 has done a very good job. They had enough time to build up defenses. Team 2 did as well, but they didn't do it as well as Team 1. And we can see that land is slowly collapsing here for Team 2 on this eastern side. ASF's coming in, going after the Restorers here from Team 2's air player. Some AA on board the aircraft carriers for the command classes, going to be able to take out a decent amount of air from Team 1's Hayden. And it looks like it might be an air control victory here for Team 1, and it is. And in, of course, the southeast, the Monkey Lord trying to hold on. The Harbingers are the main target. Already is dropping into the yellow and is getting a decent amount of veterancy off of those Harbinger kills. And it might get to one. It is at 1 star, excuse me. And now the base here for Sox is being ripped apart by that Colossus with its inverted laser. ASF's coming in to secure the skies above said Colossus. Team 2's engineers are fleeing to the west. as the entire middle is now starting to collapse. Everything is collapsing here on this eastern side for Team 2. Team 1 trying to hold the line, is doing a great job of it. There is a chicken online, and that's not going to feel good. Freedom builds his own experimental. It is a Colossus, and with the monkey, we'll definitely be able to defend against Team 1's Colossus and Harbinger push. That Colossus does have 20% more hit points, so it will favor Team 1. But once that Monkey Lord comes into range with its laser, it is not going to matter. The Monkey Lord gets retasked by the Colossus. At this point, just try to get the Colossus to stop firing, and it does. It starts to retreat from that group of experimentals. The chicken to the west opening the doors for the invasion of Team 2's Telemaser. The Colossus in the red here for Team 1. Probably should have just gone after that Monkey Lord and killed that off. The Colossus here from Team 2 will finish it off. And that one more veterancy allows it to live a little bit longer. Colossus dropping into the yellow. And Team 1 will lose their Colossus in the west. Chicken still pushing in, going after the air grid here for Team 1's Hayden. And that is not going to feel good, especially with Hayden standing next to a Pigeon. It's actually not volatile, so it's actually fine. But that chicken is going to make it to the main base. And Team 2 will have their air grid still online, so that will be a huge advantage in that game. 27 minutes on the clock, and I think I can split it end splitting it just a little bit now that we know that the land invasion has slowed down. It's not stopping, it's just slowing down here for Team 1. And there goes that chicken, killing everything off in that base, almost killing off Hayden, and then going after his engineers. Needs to turn around and finish off that column if he chooses to do so. Going after the T3 Mechs. Hayden then trying to do what he can to defend. It looks like Team 2 Television not wanting to kill off Hayden, just kill off the mass. He doesn't want to gift over the eco from Hayden to another player, which, I mean, it is a fair strategy to be fair. I think Azuros would get that base. Maybe Steve McQueen would keep it, but I think Azuros would probably end up having that base. In general, the air grid is done and dusted besides one T3 air facility, but no, the chicken decides to kill him anyways, and that is a kill on Team 1. It is now a 3v3 tied up game once again. 28 minutes, on the clock. Laser has been started here by Team 2's Shady Sox, and a ton of Harbingers are being built to scoop up all that reclaim. Team 1 sitting at 1.3k mass income. Team 2 at 835. Team 1 doing a very good job of ecoing. And it doesn't help, of course, that Sadie Sox has no income as well, so that definitely doesn't help the numbers there. What an interesting game so far. Yeah, it's definitely essentially becoming a base trade here. Team 1 invading the east. Team 2 invading the west very clockwise. Their air grid down. You could donut for defense as Signal Runner. I mean, he could. Don't know if it's worth it. Getting another land unit definitely would be beneficial. But Team 1 does have the air control for the time being still. It looks like there, of course, is a T3 air facility online as well here for Emek Raw News. So there's not any, devoid structures of producing ASFs, but at least for now, it looks like the ASF have retreated from Team 1. And, I mean, it's a very interesting... It can go either way at this point. I feel like Team 1 definitely has it for the mass, but Team 2 is catching up. They went from 8-something to 1,100, and either that's partly due to reclaiming or partly due to just claiming mass on the map in terms of mexes. Laser is almost half done here. He will probably go for teleporter, or maybe he'll just pop out, just use his laser for defense. We could see that. He doesn't have mass to his name, or a lot of mass to his name, so... not really going to go very well in that regard. T3 Naval Headquarters, not Naval Facility online for Telemaser, gifted over from Sox. At least I think that's... No, that's the one from Signal Runner, never mind. And of course we do see Freedom with his T3 Naval Headquarters as well. Is he producing just destroyers? Is he just going to walk the Harbingers down? That'd be very interesting. Probably get bigger air grid, says Hayden. Probably. But he is producing a Colossus, so he's a little bit busy with that. Counter Colossus online for Team 1, forcing back that land army. Chicken also online. So Team 1 going to have to retreat their Colossus for the time being. This is a very interesting and different game here. I think I've casted the game a while back that was very similar to this, where essentially it was just a base trade, and then the game ended. But those kind of the different games, the games that take a different approach to winning, are some of the best games, because it's not the same, oh, it's artillery, oh, it's nukes, oh, it's experimentals, whatever. It's just using the map to their advantage, using their tech to their advantage in terms of faction bonuses. So love to see those types of games. Crap ton of gifted reclaim, says Hayden. And yeah, definitely 2 chickens worth of reclaim. Ooh, yeah, that's worth grabbing, especially with Team 1 having 3 Colossus and Team 2 only having 1 chicken. Looks like they have, yeah, still only have 1 chicken. Doesn't look like anybody else is producing another chicken. The Colossus is going to give the chicken a hug. Colossus will lose that fight, but the chicken will gain a nice friend for a second before he inevitably kills it. And Team 1 again has really just forced Team 2 back. A lot of their steam has been debunked or just been thrown away. Team 1 still holding the position in the east. Tons of mass on the map, I would assume, at this point. And obviously it is where we expect it to be. Team 1 having a lot more reclaim to scoop up than Team 2. And even though Team 2, it's on their doorstep essentially, they can't really get at it as closely versus Team 1. There are, of course, the destroyers on land, proving very, very annoying for incoming units. Multiple Colossi online for both teams, so this is going to be definitely a fight to the death, quite literally. And artillery on artillery, his air grid? Team 1 has artillery? Where? Where does Team 1 have this so-called artillery? I do not see it. Is it out of... No, I don't see it anymore. I would not assume it's over here. That'd be very, very far forward. I don't really know. Multiple missile ships over here still hanging out. I don't see any artillery as of yet, just Colossus production here for Zeros. That's the only player I could possibly think. Maybe the air player, but he's was producing Colossus as well. E1 PD securing the reclaim over here and just being annoying as well, trying to deny all of the engineers from Team 2. And the Colossus have stepped forward, allowing the destroyers to get a nice little buffer zone going on here. Laser is done going for stealth, so he is going to go for cloaking. Very, very interesting here. Outbound from Sox wants to help in the land engagement. Does Team 1? Yes, they do have an Omni, which means once that Cybern Commander pops into that ring, Team 1 will notice them, and that cloaking will be debunked. And no, sorry, defunct, not debunked, defunct. Nano has been started. Yep, we're going straight for that cloaking upgrade. Team 2 also has an Omni online, but I don't think there's any Cybern Commanders left. There's no Cybern Commanders on Team 1, so that doesn't really work out. But the Colossus are forcing back Team 2. 3 of them online. A bunch of Team 1 bomber spam also outbound from IMEC 4 on you, the now de facto air player for Team 1. Cloaking has been started. Nano has been completed. The destroyers are being ripped to shreds by the Colossus outbound from Team 1. Colossus trying to help save their slower brethren, but it is not going to happen. Huge amount of Harbingers online here for Team 1. Steve McQueen, he has 138 of them with 3 Colossus, and I'm assuming one of those is probably under construction. And that is going to favor Team 1 quite significantly. I'm going to turn off all the things. I'm going to watch this little bubble invasion occur. The Harbinger of Death has now occurred. Look at this. Look at all that nonsense on the map. Colossus focusing down. Team 1, again, has the advantage with the unit count. Team 2 has the advantage with the Colossus count. But, again, all those Harbingers, it favors Team 1. It just does. Units getting in, going after the engineers, building PD. At this point, probably should have gone for Team 1 just to spam up as much as they can. And that second Colossus will die here for Team 1. The Colossus still, luckily, online for now. Sorry, not recon, but veterancy has been gained here by both of those Colossuses, so they'll get a little bit more hit points to their name. This Colossus will crash land on top of a bunch of Harbingers. That one will die shortly thereafter. There it goes, takes out a decent amount of them as well. Team 2 needs more defenses, and they don't have them. This could be the final collapse of Team 2's infrastructure and the win of the game for Team 1. And Cups being very excited by McQueen. He is the man, according to Hayden. He is the man we needed. I mean, the Harbingers do see that comm from Team 1, or sorry, from Team 2, and it is not going to make a difference. The air grid is done and dusted. Team 2 has 2 remaining players, and it's just the beginning of the end. ASF fight over top will be won by Team 1. No one's going to talk about my defense, huh? I was. Zero's been like, hey, I did stuff too. Come on, guys. And those Harbingers just ripping through everything. Not letting anything go to waste. Not letting anything stay alive. Get back to work. You're not done. Says Cops. That's funny. Both of the dead players are the ones talking. Kind of very entertaining. I didn't know how we didn't crush top. Lol, says Freedom. I mean, it's just Zero's defended very hard. And Cup says, why you make Navy and back pond? Yeah, I don't really get that. Anyway. Again, like I said, just you can see the green invasion from the east. And Team 1's Telemazer is fleeing in the face of it. 35 minutes on the clock this game. And the only hope for Team 2 is Telemazer's invasion, but I don't think that's going to work. He does have a lot of offense, to be fair. We could see the exact same thing happen here against Team 1, but I don't see that happening, and there's a lot more defenses to chew through for Team 1. By Team 2, one chicken is down, and offense are being grabbed 2 by 2. Ion Storm has been activated, is in range a couple of the Colossus. That will make a huge difference. The third chicken will just probably suicide on top of this one in the east. And those Colossus are going down. Oh, it's not going to feel good here for Team 1's Colossi, but I'm assuming there's more being produced. There are more being produced. That is not really a huge threat to Team 1. And those Colossus, some of them do get out of range. Will the Iron Storm kill off those 2 Colossus? No, they won't. And all of those Othams have been ripped to shreds. Team 2 has lost their last considerable land army. They've lost everything in the south. And that is going to be game here for Team 1. They will win this game. And Telemazer controls everything. Control K's everything that he owns, leaving a lonely little Freedom left alive. And are they just going to go hunt him, or will he just teleport out of there? We will just have to wait and see. I'm going to speed it up to 1. 1.6k mass income to 1. 1,600 plus mass income versus 1 mass income here from the comm of Freedom. Freedom obviously knows what's going to happen, and, you know, is either going to control K, be killed off anyways. Is going to try to make a last-ditch effort to kill off a couple of units. Cannot even overcharge as well. Wants to poke his head out just slightly, and then control K's anyways. And that is the game here, folks. So at 37 minutes, Team 1 wins the game with the MVP being, I mean, I don't always like to give it to the highest rated player, but Steve McQueen, he is not essentially the reason why Team 1, but a huge part of why Team 1 won. Invaded the East, took the East, and just forced back Team 2 every step of the way. And obviously that final Harbinger push was enough to break through Team 2's last remaining defenses and win the game. I do feel like most underrated player of the game definitely goes to, I don't know. I think Hayden did a very good job with the air. He was eventually killed off, but I think he did a very good job with air, especially up against the 1900. I don't know. I think, yeah, maybe a Signal Runner did a very good job as well. He hot dropped his commander in to defend. Team 1 could have killed him off, decided not to. But I do love the ballsy play of sending his commander forward. So definitely, was it a good move? No. Was it a bold move? Yes. Luckily, he wasn't killed off till he walked all the way further south, but he could have died right here very easily to those blazes. But let me know down in the comments what you felt about the match. Thank you so very much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and again, share this video with anyone, everyone, and especially your pets. And I will see all of you in the next one.